I'm not sure that I exist, actually. I'm all the writers that I've read, all the peoples that I met, all the women that I've loved, all the cities I have visited.
Everything that I know about physics, cosmological physics, and all the rest, I learned when I was 10 years old. I mean, really through watching Carl Sagan's Cosmos.
Christopher Nolan has a fascination with themes such as infinity, eternity, and time. Authors such as Georges Méliès, Georges Louis Borges, Hitchcock, Kubrick, Akira Kurosawa, Vertov are some of the reference and inspiration that we can find in these movies. For Nolan, there is no beginning and end, linearly or even often expected, as if your films were dreams in which life has its own orientation and its own time. Using layered system to expand time, labyrinths, temporal inversion, it shows us different spaces of perception, and in these ways shows illusion and chaos, forcing the limits of action.
He can communicate with the future.
We all do, don't we? Emails, credit cards, texts, anything that goes into the record speaks directly to the future. The question is, can the future speak back?
Okay. It's confusing because I don't think pictorially, diagrammatically. So, okay, what do you have? You have the beginning of the film here. What's the best way to draw it? The best way to draw it is as a hairpin, like that.
In films like Memento, The Prestige, Inception, Interstellar, and Tenet, Nolan manipulates reality and time. Using flash forwards and flashback, it changes and overlaps the time implicity and explicity, and even plays with the simultaneity and circularity of time. Nolan also used the dross effect that we can see in the labyrinthic game and in the web of photographies in Memento, or in the repetition of mirrors in the film Inception. As if they were Russian dolls, an apparent dispersion of Nolan logical narratives, it allows the notion of metalepsis to immerse the viewer in the diegetic fantasy of films.
Scene there, scene there, scene there, scene there, scene there, and they meet towards the end of the film.
Nolan likes to play and change the temporal logic, and often the story starts the other way around. With complex arguments, Nolan used commonplaces that are repeated through the narratives to create puzzle films, and thus to arrest the viewer to the action. Repeating small takes several times, the plot pieces come together until the viewer realizes the logic that encompasses the story. Nolan does not follow patterns of direct causality.
What is the most resilient parasite? A bacteria? A virus? An idea? Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate. An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
Todd McGowan claims that Nolan's films break the linear chronology to emphasize the repetition of the psychoanalytic impulse. Another way that the director found to manipulate time and its cycles was to use several times within the same film, creating narratives that contain other narratives within itself.
You know, it's almost as if you're dealing with pure philosophy.
You can find 2 to 5 timelines in these films, present in parallel, past, future, anything can happen simultaneously.
Every magic trick has a third act. the hardest part.
The shortest distance between 2 points is not necessarily a straight line.
Maybe it means something more, something we can't yet understand. Maybe it's some evidence, some artifact of a higher dimension that we can't consciously perceive.
This ambiguity of the diegetic realities of these films instills a well of emotion in the audience, showing different sensation and temporal experience to us.